And now, on the Free News Network, live from Ding Dong Land, and voted on by viewers like you, it's Very Helpful!
Hi, Chip! Are you ready? Should I ding the bell? Alright, I'm gonna ding the bell. 3, 2, 1, here he is!
Very helpful. Ho, 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 ho. Hey, Dr. Ding Dong.
Or is it?
Morons. It seems like they're everywhere you turn. Every single day they invade the headlines. Another half-wit criminal with a half-baked scheme. Another social media simpleton going viral. Another Florida man stretching the bounds of stupidity. Or another pack of SJWs throwing a temper tantrum. And that's not even the worst of it. From the empty talking heads on the cable news channels, to the humorless hacks in Hollywood, to the pea-brain politicians pulling the puppet strings, everywhere you look, there's another idiot telling you how to live your life.
Like, people should be able to, like, eat what they want, do what they want.
Absolutely not!
I mean, it's not like he's going out there in his campaign ads like, Joe Biden is a reptile man.
He keeps the streets of Gotham City much safer than Commissioner Gordon, but he doesn't wear a badge because Batman doesn't have to follow any rules.
You know, all the kids started ganging up on him and calling him a little googly-eyed, pitchy-pants jelly boy.
Oh, I say the N-word all the time now. You know, I just go out on the strip and I scream it.
You say a succubus?
Whoa, Reverend!
A succubus? You don't know what a succubus is. You mean you're talking like Cardi? Like Cardi B? I heard she got that wop.
Well, Jay and Anissa have had enough. Armed with clever satire, madcap humor, and the craziest cast of characters in podcasting, they're lining up and taking aim at the world of stupidity every single week. Because it is time to go to war. The War on Morons.
It is Monday, October 26, 2020, and this is episode 52 of The War on Morons. I'm Jay.
And I'm Anissa.
And this is the only show online where we speak truth to stupidity every single week, but especially the last week of October. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. And I do have to mention, we've been doing it every single week for a full year now. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Now, we'll get right into the headlines in a moment. But first, we have to give everybody out there in our audience a very well-deserved thank you.
Yes, because of all of your support, we won the first fan vote in our bracket of the Hot Mean Media Group 6-star search. And we can't thank you enough, because now, out of all of the, dozens, maybe even hundreds of podcasts that applied for this prestigious contest, we are one of 2 finalists. So we're not sure just yet when this final round starts, but I know we're going to do well because of your help. So keep an eye out for updates. We'll let you know how to vote on the second and final round.
Yeah, and because of your support, no matter what the final verdict is in the contest, we are determined to do whatever it takes to keep bringing you this show every single week.
Yeah, even if we have to dress up like Dr. Ding Dong and Barry Helpful and sneak into the network studios to do it. I mean, can you believe that those guys won the FNN poll or whatever? Like,
I honestly cannot. I don't even know how they do it. I'm pretty sure that's like a legitimate stuffed animal. So I mean, on there, this is definitely the weirdest Halloween costume we've ever done. But anyway, as a reminder, please subscribe to our free RSS feed at thewaronmorons.podbean.com so you never miss an episode. And follow us on YouTube, Twitch, DLive, or Facebook to catch our video stream every week. Also, if you can, give us a 5-star rating on any of those platforms. It's going to help more people find our show and tune in.
Yep, and one last note. You can always reach us at 813-906-9099. And now, this week's top morons.
All right. Well, for our first story of the night, the rapper who had previously boasted about getting rich off of $1.2 million in unemployment money on a track, unsurprisingly, was arrested for fraud. The rapper, who's known as Nuke Bizzle, released a music video called EDD, which stands for the California Employment Development Department debit cards he somehow managed to get his hands on.
Jeez, I mean, who would have thought they would ever catch this guy, right? Like,
I know, he did it so well.
I mean, he might as well have just, made a song called Arrest Me, Here's My Confession. But then again, I mean, California, I mean, I'm surprised. But if only Hunter Biden would release a track, maybe he could call it CFT.
CFT?
Yeah, CFT. It's kind of like EDD, but it stands for crack-fueled treason.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of dumbasses getting caught gaming the system, a 62-year-old Florida man was charged with a third-degree felony after requesting a mail-in ballot for his wife. The problem? She's been dead for 2 years.
You know what, dude? Honestly, I'm shocked that they caught this guy. I mean, it's not like she's going to be the only dead person voting in this election.
Right? Like, maybe that's what's going on at all these Biden rallies. We keep seeing, it looks like there's nobody in attendance, but maybe there's dead people in attendance, and only he can see them, because he's closer to the other side of the veil. So he could be out there speaking to thousands and thousands of people, like his largest voting bloc. It's just that they're ghosts.
I mean, who had ghosts voting for Biden on their War on Morons bingo card? I mean, for 2020, did anybody have Biden ghost voting? Anybody? No? Okay.
I mean, it's a good idea. We probably should have done something on it a little sooner. But yeah, I mean, to the dead, I mean, that guy must seem like he's full of energy, right? Anyway, back to reality. My favorite part of this story, with this guy that basically did the voters fraud, is that he had a great excuse. He says the reason that he tried to get a ballot for a dead woman was not to commit fraud. No, he was not planning on voting. He was not even going to consult a medium so his dead wife could cast her vote from beyond the grave. All he was doing, he says that he was just trying to test Florida's voting system.
There we go. There's an excuse for you right there. What's next? Sorry, officer. I know I set my store on fire. Darn, but I wasn't committing insurance fraud. No. I was just testing 911's response time. And boy, you might want to talk to the boys down at the fire station, because, it's not looking too good.
Right? Or like, maybe, I've got a laptop full of homemade child pornography, pictures of me smoking crack, and proof that I've been committing high-level treason with foreign governments on behalf of my corrupt politician father. But I'm just testing whether or not journalistic integrity still exists.
Yeah, spoiler alert, it doesn't. Okay.
We can keep mining that well all night.
That was a pretty oddly specific example. But since you mentioned journalistic integrity, RIP, let's talk about CNN's Jeffrey Toobin, who was indefinitely suspended by the New Yorker for whipping out his junk and masturbating while on a pretty important Zoom call with his colleagues. Yeah,
like that's completely acceptable. That's what everybody does, right? Like, what? He's just on a Zoom call for the New Yorker or for CNN?
No, for the New Yorker. The call was an election simulation being held with members of the New Yorker and WNYC Radio. And, he was, apparently, from what I've heard, pretty freaking bold in his pursuits. I guess he claims he thought he was muted. He claims he thought his video was turned off. But, literally everyone saw everything.
He's jerking off during an election simulation. I'm just assuming that in this simulation, Biden must have won. No, I heard about this story, and the part, apart from, a 60-year-old man or whatever the hell he is, jerking off during the middle of a conference call, the part that struck me was that he hasn't even been fired. They just suspended him. Like, apparently it's not that bad if you work for the New Yorker to just randomly drop your pants and start masturbating in the middle of a conference call with your colleagues. Like,
look, just a year ago, the hashtag #MeToo movement would have been calling for this dude's head. Rightfully so. But now, I guess the media has much more important things to worry about, so they'd rather just keep him on the payroll in case they need him.
Yeah, well, while they're at it, and while they're letting people get away with everything, as long as they have the right, political inclinations, can we uncancel Louis C.K.? Like, he's like the funniest comedian in America. Like, at least he got permission before he was doing this to people.
Yikes. Good point. Louis C.K. should set up a petition of some kind. This is definitely not looking good.
Or he should just hack into CNN and New Yorker Zoom calls. He's like, hey, apparently, I heard it was cool around here, and, I'm into it. And,
to be fair, Louis C.K. is not as beneficial to the narrative as a comedian. He might have just chosen the wrong line of work to be, a chronic masturbator.
I bet if Trevor Noah was doing it, they'd let him get away with it.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Anyway, speaking of sticking dicks where nobody wants to see them, doctors in Massachusetts are seeking approval from the federal government to transplant a dead guy's penis onto a crazy woman that thinks she's a man.
The dead penis thing, I do think is a little bit bizarre, but come on. There is, they're called trans people, not.
Does a trans stand for transplant? I don't get it, but I kind of get it if they're cross-dressers or whatever, but I think you kind of cross the line when you start sewing dead genitalia onto yourself. It sounds like a plot for a bad horror film,
Yeah, it definitely sounds a little bit too Frankenstein for my taste, for sure.
You could call it living dead dick. Or, Frankenweenie.
Oh shit, that's actually pretty good, but I'm pretty sure it's already a movie. So,
and it's about grafting old dead dicks onto people.
Okay, before you get us a content strike altogether, let's just say there's probably some more important things that doctors could be working on right now than that, and move on.
All right.
Speaking of more important things doctors could be working on, COVID vaccines. Like the idea or not, vaccines are definitely being developed, and Russia is going bananas in its efforts to undermine a coronavirus vaccine being developed by Britain's Oxford University. And they're doing that by claiming it could turn people into monkeys.
And people believing them?
I don't know if people are necessarily believing it, but they're going all out on this marketing, or should I say smear campaign. They're posting videos, memes, all sorts of images in an effort to discredit the vaccine in Western nations where Russia plans to sell its controversial COVID vaccine, which is called Sputnik V.
You know,
I mean, if we're trying to get away from shady Soviet connotations here, not sure that was the best name for it, but critics have been expressing various concerns about Sputnik V after Moscow fast-tracked it before a Phase 3 human trial could be conducted.
like, I mean, there's so much weird shit going on here, but, like, if I was worried about any vaccine turning me into a chimpanzee, it wouldn't be the one from Oxford, it would be the one from fucking Russia.
You know how they say that, like, in political warfare and all that stuff, you should always accuse the other party of what you're doing?
Ooh. So maybe that is what they're doing. Maybe they have found a way to, like, reverse evolution and turn people into chimpanzees. Like, who's running this Russian vaccine lab? Is it Dr. Mephisto? Like, for South Park?
I would not be surprised. I mean, that's the world we live in these days, right?
Right. Anyway, we're getting a call in. It's actually on the sponsor line, so we better pick that one up.
The sponsor line?
No, the sponsor line. It's a new thing. I was going to tell you about it. For whatever reason, it slipped my mind. But either way, pick it up. It's probably Bryan.
Oh boy. All right. Hello. You're on the air with the War on Morons. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
What do you mean sponsor line? Did you sodding idiots really just tell everyone in the audience that I'm calling in on the sponsor line? We paid good money for you to treat this like a regular fucking phone call, and you just can't help but blow up. I mean, are you an actual fuckwit?
Bryan Bedford. Yeah, it's nice to talk to you too.
Yeah, of course it. I am the premier mentalist in the world. I'm the greatest illusionist that's ever graced your television screens, and I'm stooping once again to the level of War on Morons, but you just can't act natural. You just can't keep from saying I'm the bloody sponsor. Thanks a lot. Thanks. That's wonderful.
Look, Bryan, if you don't want people to know, you should probably just drop the subject and stop talking about it.
Right. Yeah, you see, Bryan, this is why I told you, we can only deal with coast to coast AM. George Norrie wouldn't fuck up a sponsored segment. I mean, George Norrie's a professional.
Well, for the last time, Kenneth, I don't know George fucking Norrie. I know these idiots. If you want to be on coast to coast, you can call the East of the Rockies line, or whatever they do.
Hello? You guys know you're on the air, right? Is this how you want to spend your precious ad time?
Sorry. Yeah, let's just start from the top. Just use the delay. We'll erase all that. All right. Yes. Hello. My name's Bryan. I'm calling in. I'm actually in Georgia. How are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Yes, I'm good. My name's Bryan Bedford, illusionist extraordinaire.
And I'm Ken Lee, a paranormal investigator, a real-life ghost hunter, and the leader of the Spectre Inspector Squad.
And together, we've joined forces to form the team of an afterlife time.
This isn't just another TV special at a haunted house.
This is a special at the most haunted house in America. In fact, we've already put it all together. We're gonna debut our favorite scenes right here tonight on these airwaves for a very, very special edition of Brain Boozling.
Excuse me. You can't just take over our show. What are you talking about?
Shut up. Brace yourselves, America, and get ready for...
Drum roll, please. Drum roll, please. Do you know how to... Do a drum roll. A Brain Boozling Haunting!
Okay, I don't know what you were thinking here, but they're not actually gonna, do that on our show, are they?
Look, they paid us $300. You know what we normally get out of sponsorship? We only get $100 normally. They tripled it. What am I supposed to do? Turn down money?
I don't know. Pretend to have some integrity?
Yeah, maybe next time. Anyway, first, here is part 1 of a Brain Boozling Haunting.
Savannah, Georgia is a city in Georgia. Some people say it's a city from hell. It doesn't derive its name from some bygone southern belle or from its resemblance to a grassy African plain, but from its location, where the Atlantic Ocean meets the Savannah River, a river which might as well flow red with blood. First settled by the white man nearly 300 years ago, Savannah is one of the oldest cities in the American South. And in those 3 blood-drenched centuries, it has witnessed piracy, slavery, all manners of violence, and even the horror of battle during the Revolutionary and Civil War. And for thousands of years before its founding, Savannah was home to scalp-chasing, tomahawk-wielding, man-eating Indians. So it's no surprise that paranormal investigators all agree that this city is crawling with the unquiet dead. In a word, Savannah, Georgia is haunted. But to the Hudson family, Savannah, Georgia is the most haunted city on the face of the earth. Tonight, Spectre Inspector Psychic Medium Esmeralda and myself, Ken Lee, are making the treacherous journey to the Hudson's house, deep in the heart of this cursed city, because we're answering a desperate call for help.
When we received Mr. Hudson's letter, I could feel the evil torturing him and his family's souls leading through the paper. I said to Ken, we must go to Savannah and save them, and time is running short.
That's when I reminded Esmeralda that Jerry Hudson hadn't sent us a letter. He'd sent us an email.
And I told Ken it does not matter, because inside the Hudson family house, the gates of hell are being pulled open. It is our responsibility to keep Satan and his demons from pouring out into the world.
My God, we're here. And look at that house, too. You can just sense the dread radiating from its walls. You know, it's times like this I wish I'd chosen a different line of work.
We don't have a choice. It is the work of God.
Can you see anything, Esmeralda? Any spirits?
If I told you what I see, you would get back in that car and drive it into the ocean.
Holy shit. Well, let's go catch us a demon then.
Tonight, we may catch Satan himself.
Okay, what the hell was that?
I thought it was pretty obvious. It's a clip from the special, the Brain Boozled Haunting or whatever.
The Brain Boozling guy wasn't even in it.
No. He shows up he just shows up in the other clips. It's awesome.
There's more of this?
Yeah. Huh? No. Like I said, they gave us $300. But anyway, we'll get to that later. We've got plenty of regularly scheduled stupidity in the stack tonight. In fact, this is the point in the show where we'd normally play a little game called Florida or the Field. But with Halloween right around the corner, we've got a new take on it tonight, and I'm really excited about it. It's called Headline or Horror Flick.
Yeah, this is going to be super fun. We've each got 4 stories here, and we're going to challenge ourselves and our listeners to guess whether or not they're ripped from the headlines, like an actual news headline, or the plot of a horror film.
Yeah. And, at first I wasn't sure about this, but I think I came up with some really good ones. I think I'm going to stump you. In fact, I'm so confident you can go first.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm starting off strong here, so tell us in the comments, and you guess live, is this a horror film, or is it a headline? 4 friends seek out a haven that is reportedly free from the deadly virus spreading across the world, then turn on each other.
Now, I feel like you're trying to trick me by making it about a deadly virus because they're saying there's a deadly virus now. I'm gonna guess this is a zombie movie.
Are you serious?
Maybe?
Okay, I haven't actually seen the movie. I have no idea if it's about zombies. But yeah, this one was a horror film, and I thought for sure I would get you with that one.
Which movie?
It's called Carriers. I've never
heard of Carriers. I just know that they always have in zombie movies. That's like the latest gimmick. It's that, zombies aren't like actually supernatural. It's just like a virus. So right. I figured, yeah. All right. Well, I think I've got a good one here. Machete-wielding North Carolina man leaves bloody satanic messages on sorority house.
Wow. Okay. It definitely sounds horror flick-ish, but you said North Carolina man, and most horror movies, they don't exactly, specify which state they're in, so I'm gonna go with, oddly enough, headline.
Oh, man. I put states in, all of mine. Yeah, it's a headline, believe it or not. I thought for sure, because it's a machete-wielding satanic killer, and he's hunting down sorority co-eds. What could be more horror movie than that?
Did he kill someone? I thought it was maybe just a prank.
He's in jail. It's East Carolina University. He was writing messages in blood on the sorority house. They were freaking out. They were calling 911. He harmed himself, so that's where he got the blood. He slashed himself open. So yeah. It's definitely a horror movie worthy headline, but I guess the North there could be a horror movie in North Carolina. I think that'd be a good movie.
All right. Well, movie producers in Hollywood, take note. Anyway, moving on to my next one. We've got not one drop of blood. Cattle mysteriously mutilated in Oregon.
Yeah, that sounds pretty horrific, but it also sounds like shit that happens all the time with the aliens, the real aliens that are stalking herds of cattle in the Pacific Northwest. I think this is, well, I don't know if I can say real, but I think it's a headline.
Damn, we're too good at this one. All right, yeah, this one was real, surprisingly.
All right, well, it's not that surprising. I used to live out there. Cattle mutilation is a big thing. I don't know what the aliens want with our livestock, but yeah.
Dude, you could, get on the Oregon Tourism Board. Anything's better than the shit they've got going on in Portland right now.
Why don't the aliens start, desanguinating those fucking Antifa rioters?
That's a good question.
That would be better. Anyway, speaking of Antifa, I've got a good one. Crazed transgender man plots to stalk, kill, and skin overweight women in order to sew a woman's suit.
Okay, oh my god, this is tough. First of all, can we just say, like, can you stop putting crazed and transgender together? Like,
he's trying to skin people alive to make clothing out of them. I think he's crazy.
Okay, alright, fine. That's a valid point.
We're still gonna get a content strike for it, though.
We just can't win. I don't want this to be real. So I'm gonna guess horror movie in the hopes that this is fake.
I mean, it's pretty realistic. I could see this happening. But no, it's a famous movie, actually. It's The Silence of the Lambs.
Seriously?
Yeah, you've never seen that one?
I mean, I've seen like gifs of it, but never like seen it.
Oh, it's a classic. I had a suspicion that you wouldn't have seen it, or if you did see it, that like you would have just like put this one far, far out of your memory banks, because it's pretty sick. Yeah, Buffalo Bill.
The only horror movie I've seen is The Exorcism of Emily Rose, and that one is supposedly not that scary. Like, it's known for being like pretty lame as far as horror movies go.
It was a bad movie. It wasn't. Yeah, I saw that. It has the actress from Dexter in it.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't sleep in my bedroom for months after watching that. I had to sleep in the living room with like Food Network on. It was bad. I'm not doing Buffalo Bill. I'm just not. Anyways, moving on, I've got one. A couple went on a group scuba diving excursion, but the boat captain miscounted the number of people who returned from the dive and drove off without them, abandoning them in the ocean.
Oh man, I probably shouldn't laugh if it's real, but it's funny, you know, like
story we'd honestly cover regularly.
Yeah. A group scuba dive. I mean, it sounds kind of like the plot of a movie, but it also is very, very specific. So that leads me to think maybe this one is. I'm going to go with a headline.
I knew this one was a good one. It was actually a movie, but I found out later that it was based on true events.
So I would have been right either way. So I'm right.
No, this was based on a movie.
But it's also based on the truth.
Yeah, but that wasn't the headline. I didn't find a headline that said that. That was the movie synopsis.
It sounds like a really shitty movie, to be honest. Like, yeah. What happens in the movie? It's just like Castaway or something?
Oh, it's sharks. Sharks happen.
Oh, what's it called? We got to give them their plug.
Open Water.
Open Water, yeah. All right, I'll make sure not to watch that one. Next headline or horror flick for you. Herd of charging cows in England kills second man in a month.
Oh man, that's a good one. I mean, honestly, I don't think it's a movie, but I really want it to be. Because I'm not a horror movie person, but I would absolutely watch the shit out of killer herd of cows in the English countryside. I mean, can you imagine Miss Marple on the case for that shit? Hell yeah. But no, I think it's a headline.
I mean, it would be a good movie. Maybe it could be like the revenge of the mutilated cattle.
Yeah,
you know, like you keep letting those aliens, slice us up, and we're gonna start killing farmers.
That's right.
No, it was a headline. Now, let me ask: if I didn't put England in there, and if I just said herd of charging cows kill second man in a month, would you have gone for it then?
Honestly, I feel like when I was Googling like bad horror movies for this segment, I feel like if that movie existed, I would have come across it already.
You'd be surprised. There's an endless supply of bad horror movies. I've seen, I don't know, at least half of them. But I haven't seen that shark thing, so. Yeah.
Hey, there's always more to see, right? All right, I've got my last one in the stack. So far, I'm winning. So let's see how you do. This one is called I Am the Watcher. Stalkers' chilling letters forced fearful family from their home.
Now, if that doesn't sound like a movie... but I happen to know that this is not a movie. Yeah, I've heard of this story. This is one of the craziest stories I've ever heard of. This guy, if I'm not mistaken, there was this guy that like used to live in a house or something, and he moved out for whatever reason, and then when a new family moved in, he sent them letters for like 30 years, just like saying like, I'm watching you. I saw you eat cornflakes for breakfast today.
And they didn't catch him? Like, wasn't his name on the deed or title transfer or mail forwarding? Like, how could they not have stopped him?
Maybe, he was just watching. Nothing wrong with watching. He's just a watcher.
Okay. There's a lot wrong with that, actually. But you know what? We'll address that later.
All right. Well, I'm right, though, right?
Yes, you are correct.
All right, so I've got one more. I was gonna say like I was gonna put a word to it, but I'm not gonna describe this person because I got in trouble for describing Buffalo Bill as crazed. So we'll just say an Arizona man was discovered living in a hotel with his long dead mother's mummified corpse.
Ooh, okay. I mean, normally I'd say the Arizona thing would make me think this is a headline, but this actually sounds like the one horror movie person I know of, just because my cousin is like so obsessed with this guy. I think they did a TV show about him. This sounds exactly like Norman Bates, so I think it's a movie.
I shouldn't have gone for such well-known movies. Yeah, it's
something.
It's the plot of Psycho.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not really the plot. Spoiler alert, everybody. Spoiler alert. Norman Bates' mother is dead. She's a mummy.
Wait, do you not know that from the get-go?
No, that's like the big like reveal or whatever.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, that is a pretty good plot twist.
Yeah. It's a creepy movie. Like you should watch that one. It's not as gory as some of the other ones. Anyway, it looks like we're getting a call in.
Okay. Well, hopefully not on the sponsor line.
No, not the sponsor. It's area code 205. I think that's I don't know, Alabama, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. All right. We'll give it a go. Caller, you're on the air. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Yeah, this is Chattahoochee Charlie. I'm actually not from Chattahoochee, but that's a long story.
What?
Yeah. I'm calling from Alabama.
Interesting. Why would they call you Chattahoochee Charlie if you're not from there?
I can't talk about. You think I can talk about what happened at the Chattahoochee? There ain't no statute of limitations for what. Anyway, I really wanted to call because it's I'm enjoying your show today. I really like it.
Well, thanks.
Yeah, I can relate to it a lot because you were just talking about a guy that lives in a hotel, and I live in a hotel too. I live at the Budget Inn.
Oh, okay. Well, hopefully not with your long dead mother's mummified corpse or anything, but cool.
No, man. My mama don't talk to me. No, I live here with my kids, and you know, my baby mom. We got 4 kids, and we're just having a great time. You know, this is a lot of people think it's not nice to live in a hotel, but it's better than living in an apartment. Because think about it, we got a pool.
Okay.
We got a TV. I don't even have to pay for TV. I bet you have to pay a TV bill, huh?
Yeah, that's a solid point. No cable bill in a motel.
Yeah, and we get HBO sometimes too if I hit the TV just right. They play them dirty movies at night.
Are your kids in the room when you're doing that?
Oh no, my kids they ain't nothing they ain't seen yet. I got one kid's 5, one kid's 7, one kid's 8, one kid, we don't really know how old she is. I think she's about 12. I can't remember. It's that time of my life. There was a lot going on that, it was real fuzzy.
Gotcha. Okay, well, glad to hear you're enjoying our show and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. The best thing about living in a hotel is around the holidays, because Mr. Patel, that's the owner of the hotel. He's always doing something nice for the kids and for everything, like he's doing for Halloween.
Oh, that's really awesome.
Yeah, we got the trunk or treat going on this year, because I guess last year they didn't like it. We were sending the kids door to door, knocking on the door for the trick or treat, and he says that I guess a lot of people from out of town, they don't like it. So this year we got the trunk or treat. So they got everybody with a car. They open the car, and you just get what you can. Now,
Charlie, I have to ask, do you really think that's safe? I have to imagine a lot of these people are transients and you don't really know their background and you're just kind of sending your kids up to their open car? That doesn't sound...
No, we're good people. We good people around here. And, if they don't give us something, if they ain't in the car, then we just take something. It's all right. Already, Billy Joe got herself a new stereo, and that'll be a good Christmas present. Maybe she'll give it to her mama.
Oh, hold on a minute. Are you telling me that the owner of this hotel you guys are living at has set it up to where y'all can rob stereos out of people's cars?
We got an arrangement. We didn't really talk about it, but he just knows, you don't fuck with Chattahoochee Charlie, you don't fuck with his kids. So we got, my kids are dressed up in their costumes this year. Billy Joe, she dressed like a hoochie mama. And Charlie Jr., he dressed all black like a ninja. Sambo, we don't really know what he's dressed like. I guess he's dressed like a naked child. Because he ain't wearing no what?
Your kids just running around naked and breaking in the cars?
It's not breaking in the cars if they leave it unlocked. It's just trunk or treat.
I don't know about that, Charlie. It sounds pretty sketchy, to be honest.
Yeah, well, Susie May's dressed like a hooker. It's a real popular costume. She got a lot of compliments last year. Same costume. Came back with a whole bunch of money, too.
That's not sounding good, Charlie. It's not sounding real wholesome, to be honest with you, bud.
Well, Halloween ain't a wholesome holiday. It ain't like it ain't like Christmas, where you got the Christmas tree and everybody thanks the Lord. This is Satan's holiday. We're supposed to raise a little hell.
You're supposed to have 12-year-old hooker children running around on Halloween.
Hey,
that seems to be pushing the envelope a bit there.
Charlie, stop pissing in the goddamn pool. We don't piss in the pool till after midnight. You fuckhead.
Why would you?
Sorry, Manny.
Why would you do it after midnight?
What you mean?
Why would you pee in the pool after midnight?
After midnight, the security don't really, he sleeps. He sleeps. But, I don't want him getting in trouble again.
Why don't you just pee in the toilet in your room? It can't be that far.
There's 6 of us. We can't all use the toilet at the same time. I don't know what kind of family you think this is, but, just because I'm a redneck don't mean I'm into that.
Okay, well, this has been, really...
Ah, shit, here comes Mr. Patel. Kids, fucking hide. Hey, Charlie, you fucking child running around naked again? What do you mean, run around? I don't have no kids. Come on, I know it's your fucking kids. You have fucking 4 kids in there. You fucking again. No, man, come on, Mr. Patel. I paid good and square just like everybody else, man. I don't know what's your problem. I ain't got no kids. You, Charlie, I'm fucking watching you. You stop pissing in my fucking swimming pool. Whatever, man. I was fucking dothead. Fuck you. Yeah, I tell you. That's just my buddy, Mr. Patel. He's a good landlord. We get along pretty good.
I don't think you should call people that, Charlie.
Look, maybe you don't know this, but we're in America. You ever heard of freedom of speech?
Yeah. And
that means I can say whatever the fuck I want.
I mean, yeah, technically, legally you can, but, like, that doesn't mean it's, like, the right thing to do.
So I'm going to exercise my freedom of speech right now. Are you ready?
Oh, no. I'm not ready for that, Charlie.
Fuck you.
All right. Well, that was certainly interesting, but I guess it's good that we're getting some new callers.
I almost would rather talk to Vinny or somebody. I mean, just in case you needed another reason to be glad you don't live in a motel, folks. Anyway, let's check back in with the team down in Savannah and see what's going on in the Hudson house.
What?
At the brain boozling, part two, brain boozling awning. Here we go.
Now that you've been acquainted with the Spectre Inspector team, I suppose this is as good of a time as any to introduce myself. The name's Bryan Bedford, but you already know that. I'm a world famous mentalist. I have one of the most watched programs in Britain, Brain Boozled with Bryan Bedford, and my death-defying illusions have made me one of the most notorious personalities on Earth. In fact, I've been banned from dozens of countries and 2 entire continents. But luckily for you, that does not include the United States of America, or this rustic little town of Savannah, Georgia, where I've been cooking up the magical crime of the century for the past 2 months. You see, dear viewers, when it comes to your entertainment, we have left absolutely nothing to chance. Back in August, the production team at the Travel Channel clued my staff in about this positively charming 200-year-old plantation home in Savannah. Now, a house that old in a town like this, it's sure to have some history, but what caught our attention, with Halloween right around the corner, was that this house was available for a short-term rental, and its owners were due back right in the middle of October. So the network snapped up the rental, and both my team from Brain Boozled and the investigators from the Spectre Inspector Squad went to work. First, we rigged every crook and cranny of these people's home with hidden cameras and microphones. Then, the Spectre Inspectors got to work with occult rituals, satanic incantations, Ouija boards, seances, every bit of paranormal hocus pocus imaginable. So we had our setting, we had our victims, and we had our goal: to create the world's most haunted house and broadcast it to every television screen in America. But like I said before, I'm Bryan Bedford, and I don't leave anything to chance. Ken Lee and the Spectre Inspectors might believe in ghoulies and goblins, but we're not going to need any kind of spooky news to scare the Hudson family to death. Oh, but before I say too much, let's check back in with Ken and Esmeralda inside the house.
I'm here with Jerry Hudson, a mild-mannered financial advisor, husband and father to 2 twin girls. Until just last week, he thought his life was perfect. Then he came home from his family's summer vacation to find himself and his loved ones under attack by invisible forces. His home of 18 years has now become a house of horrors.
Ken, who are you talking to? Esmeralda, are they here?
Yes, of course they're here, Jerry, but Ken is not talking to them. He just talks to himself sometimes. He narrates. Don't worry about it.
That's right, Jerry. Don't worry about that. We need to find out what's motivating these spirits in your home. But first, tell me why you decided to give the Spectre Inspectors a call.
All the craziness started when we got back from Maine. We go there every year for the summer. We got a timeshare. Anyway, ever since we got home, it's just been a nightmare. I mean, the first night back, I wake up at like 3 in the morning to all this clatter in the kitchen. I run out of bed, I turn on the light, and the cupboard's open, and all our plates and glasses are smashed on the floor. I didn't know what to think. I thought maybe the girls did it. Like they were acting up or something. They're 10, so I went to their room, but I mean, if you could believe it, they were sound asleep. And then the next day, my wife was taking a shower, and I hear her just scream. The water coming out of the shower, it was red. And it smelled like metal, and she realized it was blood. There was blood coming out of our shower. And then, when my daughters told me they were hearing an evil voice in their closet, calling their names and just saying just really nasty, just awful things, that's when I knew that, we had to find help.
And that's when you saw our advertisement.
Yeah, like it was meant to be or something.
That guy sounds really scared. I'm not so sure about this.
I mean, it sounded like a good show. I love the Travel Channel. Like, they've got some really good paranormal stuff. Did you know that Jack Osbourne, you remember the Osbournes? Like Ozzy and Sharon? So, the awkward kid, the son? He's like a paranormal investigator now.
No.
Yeah, so he's got all these shows on Travel Channel. They've got I think they have Ghost Adventures. I think the other one's on Sci-Fi. They've got, it's basically the Paranormal Channel. They got like 30 freaking paranormal shows, and it sounds like Bryan and Ken, I mean, they've got an interesting take on it. I'm curious to see where it goes.
Okay, well, anyways, let's just get back to the headlines, where we go right across the bay from the War on Morons studios here, where a St. Petersburg, Florida woman exercised her right to be hilarious instead of her right to remain silent during an arrest for trespassing at a gas station last week. When police asked her for her name, the 33-year-old troublemaker responded instead with the phrase, "My butt just farted," over and over.
Her butt just farted over and over?
I mean, maybe. I don't know if it actually did, but that's the phrase she kept repeating over and over. Not her name, just "my butt just farted."
Hey, you know what? Benefit of the doubt. Maybe that is her name. People are giving their kids all kinds of crazy names these days. Why not "my butt just farted"?
No, you know what? I can't believe I'm saying this, but unfortunately for the flatulent felon, her name is not
that. Why?
Oh my god.
Yeah, he was pissed off about the other guy keeping a dead rodent in their freezer.
Well, I mean, I can think of some less reasonable reasons to beat somebody with a baseball bat, to be honest.
I mean, he beat the shit out of him, though. I mean, the roommate had to be airlifted from their home in the Keys to a Miami hospital where he was treated for injuries basically everywhere. His arms, his legs, his hands. He needed staples to the head. But if you can believe it, it actually could have been even worse. Because the police found, there were 40 firearms at the house. So the guy had 3 or 4 dozen guns, and all he did was beat the guy in the head with a baseball bat. So
that's how you know they're true friends. And you know what? Maybe next time he'll think twice about sticking a dead rat next to the Haagen-Dazs.
I don't think these guys splurge on Haagen-Dazs.
Good point. Good point. Now, speaking of folks who might think twice next time, 2 college students in Philadelphia plummeted 4 stories while taking selfies at a rooftop party.
Jesus. Like there wasn't a railing or something on the top of this roof at a party?
You know what? Actually, supposedly the building management company says that there was a parapet wall and railings, and they're still intact, but hey, sometimes you just gotta get that perfect angle, am I right?
Oh yeah, they got a perfect angle, all right. 180 degrees.
Yikes. Looks like we're getting another call, actually.
Oh, you know what? I'll take it. Let's see. Area code 602. You're on the air. State your name and where you're calling from.
Yes. My name is Mary Beth, and I'm calling in from Laveen, Arizona. How are you?
I'm good, Mary Beth. Thanks for calling the show.
Oh, yes. I'm happy to. Long-time listener, first-time caller. And I called in because I have a question.
All right, shoot.
I was wondering, those college students who fell off that roof, oh, my goodness, did they die?
No. At least according to the article I'm looking at here, it says that they did go to the hospital. I mean, falling off a roof isn't any laughing matter normally, but it looks like they are going to make it, so that's a good thing.
My goodness. Well, I certainly hope that this is a wake-up call for them.
Yeah. I mean, taking selfies in precarious positions, as we've learned many times on this show, isn't necessarily a path to a long and healthy life.
Not to mention, I mean, you could die at any time. You have to know and make it known to the people around you where you want to end up. I have no doubt that these young whippersnappers had not made any plans. Had they passed away in this accident, they could have wound up anywhere.
Oh, you mean like what, like insurance, that sort of thing?
No, you have to know where you can. Look, I'll tell you my story. Okay, I didn't want to do it, but I'll do it. I'm sitting here in my garden. My happy place. I've worked on it for the past 15 years. Beautiful, beautiful. You could see the desert. It's a gorgeous spot. And I always thought that when I die, I want to be cremated. And I told my children, when I die, cremate me, sprinkle me in the garden. That's where I want to be. But recently, there's been so many new options coming up for people who die that it's become quite a topic of discussion for me and my inner circle. I mean, I don't know about the garden plan anymore. I mean, there's so many options. And, we're talking about where you're going to be for eternity here. I mean, people need to know where they're going to end up and where their loved ones want to end up so they can put them in the right places when they die.
Okay. I mean, I guess it's something that people have to think about at some point. I hate to ask. I mean, are you do you have an illness or something like that? Or?
No, I'm perfectly healthy. But, it gives me a sense of peace. I mean, I've done everything that I can do on this earth, and now I'm looking forward to the next chapter. And so I want to make sure that I make the right decision. I was talking about it with my friend the other day, Nancy. She lives across the way, and we were out at this jazz concert at a botanical garden in town, and I mean, it was so beautiful there, even more beautiful than my garden. And I just got to talking with her. I said, gee, Nancy, maybe instead of being sprinkled in my garden, I should be sprinkled here.
Hey,
said,
maybe if they'll let you, right?
Well, she said she'd be willing to sneak me in. She's a good friend. But, the trees there also, they got me thinking, I saw an advert for this company. If you pay them some money, they'll buy land, right? And with that land, what they'll do is they'll take your body and turn you into like a tree. Like you'll fertilize the tree and they'll plant you in the land that they buy. So it's like conservation. And I thought, oh, goodness, well, nothing could be more important than preserving the land for future generations. I mean, that's, what a final act. That could be good. But then you have to think about who you're going to be planted next to,
I guess I wouldn't have really crossed my mind, but.
Well, it's important. You should think about it. I mean, that's why I've been going around door to door to all my neighbors. I need to know where they're going to wind up because I got to tell you, there's some of them I wouldn't mind being stuck with for eternity. But if you're talking about Carl next door, I don't want to be, within the same forest as him.
Hey, so you're like taking a survey door to door?
Yes, I was really hoping. I mean, Carl, I was hoping when I knocked on his door and asked him, I was hoping he'd choose the option of being shot off into space by Elon Musk or something. But he just slammed the door in my face. I mean, this guy.
That damn Carl.
I swear, this is why you got to know. You got to ask everybody you know. In fact, I am a big fan of your show. I'm ashamed that I didn't ask earlier, but you got to tell me, listen, where are you going to go when you die?
Me? I probably hell.
Well, I'm not talking about that. Where are you going? Are you going to be buried? Are you going to be cremated? Are you going to be sprinkled somewhere? Are you going to be planted somewhere? Are you going to be shot off somewhere?
I mean, it's not really something I try to think about very often.
Listen, there's a lot of options. We can run through them. I mean, do you want to be in a dumpster? Do you want to be in a river? Do you want to be in the ocean? Do you want to be, buried, somewhere special maybe? I mean, there are a lot of people choose that haunted house ride at Disney World. I don't know. I mean, we got to figure this out because, I'm a long-time listener, first-time caller, and I'm going to continue listening to your show. So when I die, I want to know where I can catch your broadcast. So you got to tell me right now. Make a decision. Just think about it. Where do you want to be? Tell me now.
I mean, I'd rather not be dead.
Okay, well, that's, sure, but, that's not realistic. I mean, everybody dies.
But most people don't pick their plot, when they're in their 30s.
Well, maybe you should start. It's never too, you don't know what could happen tomorrow. It's never too early, but it could be too late. Could be too late. You wait till tomorrow, it could be too late.
This conversation feels vaguely threatening.
What? No, I'm not. I don't know. You young people are so weird. Everything is so, I'm threatened. I'm offended. Calm down. We're just talking about death here. It's no big deal.
All right. I'll have to think on that one a little bit. I'll let you know. I promise. You're going to be the first one I call once I figure out what they need to do with my corpse.
Okay, that sounds good. Make a decision because I got to make a decision. I got a lot less time left than you.
All right. We get a lot of weird calls, but that was just creepy.
Yeah, I mean, did she say she was talking about this shit out in public? I would hate to be the one stuck next to her at a concert.
Could you imagine? That's just dark stuff. I mean, that's morbid. I mean, I know it's a Halloween episode, but Anyway, we've got one block left in the stack, so we would be doing our audience a massive disservice if we didn't cover this next story, because I honestly thought it was the moment of the presidential debate last week. Not necessarily anything that was said by Trump or by Biden, just the reaction. So remember when they were arguing about the border? And, Biden's like, let everybody in. Trump's like, build the wall or whatever. And they're arguing about the kids, the kids in cages or whatever. And Trump said, well, hey, I mean, there's coyotes that are bringing these kids over. They're smuggling children across the Mexican border.
I mean, yeah, there are. I mean, it's a huge crisis. There's sex traffickers and kidnappers. It's pretty awful.
Well, yeah, I mean, it is. And coyotes or coyotes or whatever they're called, that's a bad thing. But apparently, hundreds and hundreds of liberals have never heard the term coyote. And they took to social media like they thought that Donald Trump was the stupidest person in the world because they thought that he meant literal coyotes. Were like, yes! So they're all like, he's stupid. Does he know how big coyotes are? What are they doing? Dragging them across the border in their mouths? Ha ha, he's a fucking idiot.
They couldn't use context clues to pick up that this was like slang or a connotation for something? I mean, how much Looney Tunes do these people watch?
Right? I mean, the best part to me is they're like, so oblivious, but so arrogant at the same time. Like, I mean, it's just such a massive, like, stepping in it moment when you're making fun of somebody for being stupid, but you're actually the one that doesn't even know, like, a basic term about what's going on at the border. I mean, you got morons like that fucking David Hogg just laughing his ass about it on Twitter. You'd think he'd get it. I mean, since as far as I know, he's not an actual hog.
Oh shit. I mean, just wait till these people find out about the Navy SEALs and like the Eagle Scouts.
No.
Wait. A lot of surprises.
Wait till they find out about drug mules.
Oh shit.
You mean
it's not real.
They're making these poor mules like bring all the cocaine and fentanyl over the border. Like they're just a poor donkey, man.
It's animal abuse.
It's even worse than those damn coyotes. You know what they need to do is maybe send some roadrunners out there to distract them so we can save the children.
Oh my god, you gotta stop. It's making my head hurt. And speaking of folks who really don't like Trump and are maybe willing to make a little bit of an ass of themselves to prove that point, a recent Boston anti-Trump rally involved flag burning and blood drinking.
Okay, I get the first one. I mean, most of them involve flag burning. That's kind of their thing. But blood drinking, like, what? Like the vampires don't like him now? I know the witches don't like him.
Oh yeah, this is witchy, all right. So the scene that let me just paint the picture here for you. The scene involved a man screaming while an American flag burned on the ground. He held in his hand a bloody heart, which was meant to represent the president. Now, whether the heart was a real animal heart or otherwise, we really don't know. It's unclear. He did hold it over his head and scream, just screaming, squeezing the blood out of it, and then started ripping it apart, throwing bloody chunks of it everywhere. Now, surrounding him was weird and unexplained dancing. There was a man in a man-Trump pig costume and performers running around in a circle chanting "fuck Trump" over and over.
Okay. I mean, are you sure this was Boston? It sounds like the Temple of Doom.
At least sounds like Salem, right? I mean,
Jesus Christ! And these are the people that say that they want, a return to normalcy and civility. They want an adult to be in charge. I mean, like, all right, I'm now accepting guesses in the comment section. Do you think this was a performance art piece done by a group of unemployed theater majors, or an actual occult ritual performed in broad daylight in one of our biggest cities?
Oh, that's a good question. It's a toss-up. I'm interested to see what the results of this poll are.
I bet there's already people defending this, I'm sure. You know, they're going to be like, well, you know, blood drinking and ripping apart, you know, an animal heart in the middle of the street is a legitimate form of protest. You know, like, think about it. You know, the Boston Tea Party, like, maybe they were ripping out hearts and the deists didn't put it in the history books.
Can you imagine if that was what was in our history book?
It will be one day. Anyway, in our last story of the evening, and I don't know how we're going to top this last one, but in our last story of the evening, we're going to keep things creepy, as a Riverside, California family might have taken holiday festivities a little too far, as their Halloween decor prompted multiple people to make calls to emergency services this month.
Oh wait, don't tell me. They did that thing where like they have like the feet hanging out of their trunk of their car kind of thing, and like
no, I mean it wasn't even like good Halloween decorations. Like it wasn't like a body hanging from their tree that looked a little too realistic. It wasn't, like you said, like the feet hanging out of the trunk or like the body bags. Honestly, it didn't even really like sound like a Halloween decoration at all.
What the hell was it?
It was like a Pirates of the Caribbean themed like lights display, but it features such realistic special effects that people passing by the house think that it's on fire. And they keep calling 911 to have the fire department come out and put out the flames.
I mean, they are in California, you know, like, it kind of makes sense. But after the second or third time, you'd think the fire department would maybe, like, I don't know, call the homeowners and check on things before revving up the engines.
Right? I mean, it's not like they don't have anything better to do out there. I mean, but like maybe, you know, what if it actually was on fire? You know, you don't want to be in a situation where you're making somebody the boy that cried wolf and their house burns to the ground.
Well, I mean, if it's actually on fire, it might just serve these people right, wouldn't it? I mean, who do they think they are? Clark Griswold?
Right? Or Tim the Toolman Taylor? No, I just think the real story here is that a fire department in California actually has an engine to spare. Like, last I checked, like, the entire state was on fire, right?
Yeah, seriously.
All right. Anyway, before we get out of here, we've got one more clip from this week's sponsor, the $300 men themselves, A Brain-Boozling Haunting, Part 3.
Do we have to?
Absolutely. Here it is.
All right, Jerry, Barb, what we're gonna do next can be very, very frightening, but it's the best way to get answers about just what has been happening in your house for this past week of terror.
Since you do not have the gift, you cannot hear the voices from beyond with your own ears. But using this technology, you can hear what I have heard ever since setting foot inside your home.
So how does this ghost box thing work anyway?
Well, the dead manipulate electromagnetic frequencies to pierce the veil between our worlds. Your electronics shorting out, your lights flickering off and on, the batteries draining from your cell phone, all of those are examples that your family has already experienced. What the ghost box is a radio on a fast frequency scan mode. So it allows the ghost box to provide the spirits with a platform to communicate with us directly audibly and in real time.
So, we're gonna hear the ghost?
Well, there's no guarantees, but with the amount of activity that you've reported, I'd be surprised if they don't come through. Especially because I'm gonna give them a boost right now with this EMF pump. It provides a big spike of, think of it as ghost fuel, for lack of a better word.
Oh, don't be surprised if we hear from Satan himself.
I don't know if I want...
Silence! We're turning on the machine.
Identity goes point out.
He's calling you an asshole. He says, fuck you.
You are ugly, and I hate you.
The ghost says you're ugly and he hates you.
The ghost says I'm
Hey,
ugly?
you, Jerry, fuck you.
The ghost is calling out for you, Jerry. It says, Jerry, fuck you.
Get out of my house.
Get out of my house, he says.
That's it. I'm gonna appear.
The ghost says he's going to appear now. Oh my god, what was that?
Did he say he was gonna appear? Well, what's that mean? What's that mean, Ken?
Oh, this is monumental. We might actually see a full-body apparition.
Satan, is that you? Come, break your chains and manifest into your domain. Take these pitiful mortals as your sacrifice, oh Satan!
Hey, what the hell? I thought you were on our side. Ken, what's with your girl here? She's freaking me out. I have arrived!
Holy shit! They're real!
Hey, did he really just faint?
It is I, the evil spirit of the house! How dare you desecrate my home, you fools! Hey, wait a minute, man. Is this some kind of a joke? A joke? I'll show you a joke, you fool! You actual cretin! I'll drag you to hell! Oh, man. No, I know you, man. You're that guy from TV. Honey, it's that stupid magician from that Brain Boozle show. What are you, man? Were you wearing clown makeup or something? No, I am not. Don't look at my face. I am a spirit from the beyond.
No, you're Bryan Bedford. What the hell are you doing here?
All right, fine. I'll say it. You've been brain boozled. Ha! You fools. What? Wait. So this was a trick for your dumbass TV show? That's wrong. Hold on. Did you just say dumbass to me?
Ugh, I knew we couldn't pull this off with this magical moron in the mix.
Hey,
I'm out.
Tell me what's going on right now, man. All right, Jerry. Well, it's quite simple. So, back in August, we rented your house. And the Spectre Inspector Squad, they were set off on a mission to make it into the most haunted house in America. So they got a Ouija board, they did a bunch of occult rituals, they tried to summon demons, but to ensure that your brain boozling was complete, I made a copy of your key. So, it was me all along. It was I who smashed your dinnerware in the kitchen. It was I who cut the power to your house. It was I who put the pig's blood in your water supply. And of course, it was I, Bryan Bedford, illusionist extraordinaire, who threatened your daughters every night from inside their bedroom closet. Ooh, I'm going to kill you,
Susie. Ooh, I'm going to kill you, Shannon.
That was me! So you and your entire family have officially been brain-boozled! All right, Jerry. Barbara, look into our hidden cameras. Look, there's one right there. Look into the hidden cameras. I'm officially brain-boozled, huh? Huh? Well, guess what? You've officially been trespassing. Now get the hell out of my house! Whoa, my God! Oh, wake up! Kenneth! It's a wrap! We've got to evacuate!
But Brian, I think the demon summoning ritual really...
What? Just shut up about the demons! He's got a shotgun!
Oh, shit!
Damn right, oh shit! Let's go!
You know what? Honestly, I have to say, I might have been wrong because I was not a fan of this whole thing throughout this whole episode, which I think I made pretty clear. But that was hilarious. Why the hell? They totally got what they deserve.
Why did they send that to us?
I don't know. Are they going to air it?
Like, I mean, is it just me, or did that make them look like fucking idiots?
They are fucking idiots.
Hey, no refunds, guys. No refunds. Oh, man. Anyway, that's more than enough show today. Hope you guys like this crazy Halloween stuff. Thanks for joining us for episode 52 and for the entire last calendar year. We're going to be back next week, one way or the other. See you next week.
You better get down on your knees and pay 1,000 more fools are being born every fucking day.